In ancient India, beneath the shade of a sprawling banyan tree, Prince Siddhartha sat in meditation. Though he had renounced his royal life years ago, memories of palace luxuries still flickered through his mind. But on this day, something different caught his attention: the sound of weeping. A young mother named Kisa Gotami approached, cradling her dead child. She had traveled from village to village, refusing to accept her son's death, desperately seeking medicine to revive him. Having heard of the wise ascetic who would become the Buddha, she fell at his feet. "Please," she begged, "heal my child." Siddhartha looked at her with eyes full of understanding. Instead of telling her the harsh truth directly, he said gently, "I can help you, but first, you must bring me a mustard seed from a house where death has never visited." Hope renewed, Kisa Gotami went from door to door. At each house, she asked for a mustard seed, but then inquired whether any deaths had occurred there. In every home, she heard stories of lost parents, children, spouses, and siblings. As the day wore on, understanding slowly dawned in her heart. Returning to Siddhartha as evening fell, she no longer carried her child. She had given him a proper burial, accepting the universal nature of death and loss. Siddhartha's compassionate method had helped her understand the truth without breaking her spirit. "I understand now," she said quietly. "Death comes to all, but please, teach me how to find peace." Siddhartha began instructing her in meditation and mindfulness. Kisa Gotami eventually became one of his most devoted followers, finding not just peace, but enlightenment herself. Years later, when Siddhartha, now known as the Buddha, was traveling with his disciples, they encountered a man suffering from a severe illness, abandoned by the roadside. While others passed by, keeping their distance, Buddha immediately went to him. "Water," the man whispered, his voice barely audible. Buddha cleaned the man's wounds, brought him water, and with his disciples' help, created a shelter. For several days, they cared for him until his strength returned. When asked why he, a great teacher, would spend time tending to a sick stranger, Buddha replied, "The highest form of worship is the welfare of all beings. In serving others, we serve the truth." This compassion extended to all creatures. Once, Buddha encountered a wounded swan, shot down by his cousin, Devadatta's arrow. While Devadatta claimed hunting rights, Buddha argued for the bird's right to life. He gently removed the arrow and nursed the swan back to health, teaching his followers that all beings deserve compassion. As Buddha's reputation grew, even those who sought to harm him found themselves transformed by his compassion. A famous incident involved Angulimala, a brutal bandit who wore a necklace of his victim's fingers. When Angulimala threatened Buddha's life, Buddha remained calm and asked, "Why do you inflict such suffering?" His serenity and fearlessness stunned Angulimala. Buddha's compassionate words reached the pain in Angulimala's heart, revealing the wounded soul beneath the violent exterior. The bandit renounced his ways, becoming a peaceful monk. In his final years, Buddha continued teaching that true strength lies in compassion, not conquest. When asked about the source of his boundless love for all beings, he explained that compassion naturally flows when we recognize our interconnectedness. Just as a mother would protect her only child with her life, he said, cultivate a heart that embraces all beings without boundary. These stories of Buddha's compassion spread throughout India and beyond, inspiring countless generations to follow the path of kindness and understanding. His teaching that true happiness comes not from accumulating wealth or power, but from cultivating a heart of compassion, continues to resonate across time and cultures.